What's going on, everyone? I want to take you for a tour today and tell you a short story. Back 8 years ago, I was living across the street from this property in a one-bedroom condo, 700 square feet, and I saw this house come up for sale, and I had wanted to buy a house like this for already a few years, but I didn't have the cash flow. It was listed at $790,000 at the time back in 2016, 8 years ago, almost 9 years ago now. And I had worked my butt off, okay, from 2012 to 2016 to save $158,000 as a down payment. So that's the first principle. Using the profits, I had a painting business, using your profits, speaking of that, we need to do some painting in here, but using your profits from your home service business, moving it over to an asset, and having some courage to go and invest in the long term. So I bought it for $790,000. I put $158,000 down, and I'll show you downstairs why I went ahead with this investment. Is because this house is unique. It had 2 rental suites at the time, and I called up my buddy, who's extremely handy, and he, I want to say we, but it was all him. It cost about $12,000, $13,000. He put in this suite down here. It was already like finished, but we had to put in this kitchenette, dishwasher, buy some appliances at Home Depot. But over in here, there is, turn the light on, there's a 2-bedroom suite and even a little stacker unit in there for washer dryer. So we were able to rent out the house, the upper 2 floors, the basement, and the unique thing of this property in the backyard, I'll show you, above the garage is something called a coach suite, and that is a 1-bedroom studio. Here's the other bedroom. Simple bedroom. It's a 1-bedroom studio we were able to rent out, comes with parking, and so for the last 8 years, I was able to rent out this property and get it cash flowing, and there were issues that came up, right? I had to change over tenants, had to do some painting, clean it between tenants, dealt with a few tenant issues. Anyone who's done rentals knows that it's not doing nothing. But if you look at, almost 72 months more than 72 months, like 96 months that I own this property, it was totally worth it because I bought it for $790,000 and the list price now is $1.45 million. Here's the master. So my gain on this is gonna be well over $600,000 of profit, right? Over the last 8 years. It's almost $100,000 a year. So I want to make this video and show you the principle of a home service business is to build cash flow, right? And what you do with that cash flow, I believe you put it into stable assets. You go buy a rental property, or you buy your first home to live in if you've not done that yet, or you go invest in stocks. It doesn't matter what it is, but I want to show you here where I am in Canada, it's not a small amount of money, $790,000 to buy a house, put down $158,000. I was 26 years old at the time. And I could have went out and bought a new Range Rover, right? Or maybe a G-Wagon at the time. Or buy jet skis or a boat. Or buy the trappings of success. But I said no. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad and I invested in this property. I put all the money I had at the time into this property, and we fast forward 8 years. I'm turning 36 in a couple weeks, and I look back now at this property we can sell for and make a north of $600,000 gain, and it's incredible. And it feels to me like I'm just getting started in business, but I want to share this message, not to brag, I got all this money and I did nothing. It was a lot of work, but I think it was a wise investment 8 years ago to push this money into something stable that will appreciate over time, and I can rent out and create positive cash flow. And I think that's the formula. I think a home service business can make you good cash flow, but I don't think it's gonna make you wealthy, in my opinion. What makes you wealthy is these stable, hard assets like real estate over time that go up in value. You use the cash flow business, you slide it over, you buy real estate. For me, it took 4 years to save the $158,000, but here we are 8 years later. And I'll show you here, got a nice deck here. And the coach home suite, the door's right here. The coach home suite's right above here. So there's a garage on the main level, and then up top is like a 450 square foot 1-bedroom basement suite. And even it's a small yard down here, but you know, there's no grass to cut, which is nice for renting. And then just up in here is like a parking spot for the tenant there in the studio suite. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, is the power of making wise decisions and using your home service business as an asset. Because if you do it for long enough, you can fast forward 8 years and you can cash out and go redeploy that capital elsewhere. And the only reason for selling is similar in the US. Our interest rates in Canada have went through the roof. And after talking to our lender, the bank, the numbers just don't make great sense anymore. And I think there are other opportunities I'm eyeing up that we can do better on. And so as an investor, as hard as it is, you need to let the numbers be your guide. And this is a great rental the last 8 years, but with re-upping now with our current interest rates, the numbers do not make sense. And so we need to make the tough decision to list this. And so it just went up this week. I should probably do some paint touch-ups like I said, but I wanted to show you in real time. This is a rental I've owned, bought it with blood, sweat, and tears through painting houses. I was patient, made a wise decision, and here we are 8, 9 years later, and I'm still young. I want to do it again and again and again and continue this process of making wise decisions in life so I can set up a better life for my family and live really a dream life. That's what I'm working on. So I hope this inspired you. Drop a comment if you got questions. We're up in Surrey, British Columbia in Canada. Bought for $790, listed for $1.45. I'll have to keep everyone posted in the comments of the sale price that this gets, but that's what we're doing. I hope this fired you up. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think.